You let me violate you.
Okay, so I am reviewing this week Sneakers, 1992 release by director Phil Alden Robinson, starring Robert Redford, Sidney Poitier, Dan Aykroyd, River Phoenix, oh look, just a plethora of people. The film starts, it starts in 1969, and we look at the main characters of Cosmo, young Cosmo, later played by Ben Kingsley, who I also want to mention because he's brilliant. Young Cosmo and young Marty Bishop, and they're two, in 69, they're what we refer to as hackers. Through a chain of events in that era, Cosmo is arrested and Marty gets off. So we jump 20 years into the future. We've got Marty Bishop there, heading an elite team of misfits who are computer geniuses in varying capacities. And basically they contract out and they work for large organisations and help them find the faults in their security systems. The story pumps along and we get two government officials, government representatives who come along to hire the team for a job. And from there on in it becomes pear-shaped when conspiracy theories abound and the guys basically get into some deep shit. I don't want to actually continue on and say too much about what it is because I actually think it's a really great, very slick conspiracy theory film. We get a lot of them are played out and they're very solid and you know where it's going to go, what's going to happen, but you don't, well I found that I didn't with Sneakers, and the cast is so stellar. I couldn't fault a performance in the film. I really, really love this film for what it is. You know, when it was made, people like Ben Kingsley, it was one of Ben Kingsley's, I think, first sort of American films that really pushed him on after that to do Schindler's List, you know, Death and the Maiden and all those sort of other films that he did, which really solidified him as a bona fide star. I mean, he'd done a lot of work in England prior to that as well, obviously. But the cast, such an eclectic mix of people: Timothy Busfield, Sidney Poitier, Dan Aykroyd, David Strathairn plays a blind person in the film, and it's hard to play a blind person and he's stellar, you know, but there's a lot of comedy in the film as well. They actually made the film, when they first made the film, they were going to slap a PG rating on it, so it was for kids. So they put swearing in the film so that it could be classified as a film for adults. So yeah, anyway, I'll open up to Gers, see what you think about the film. I think it's one of those classic films. It seems to be a kind of a bit of a sleeper film in a way. It wasn't really, for me, it wasn't really a high-profile film at the time. It was more of like an intellectual conspiracy film that sort of.
Well, it's
classified in a way.
It's an all-star caper yarn, you know.
Perfect description.
How's that?
Perfect description.
And the likes of which we don't really see much anymore.
No.
It's hard to get those kind of names all together at the same place at the same time, agreeing on the same script. But Phil Alden Robinson did it, and it's entertaining, and it's an interesting piece for two reasons. Looking back on it now, you've got the end of the Cold War, which is basically what they just come out of, and I think there's a line in there saying, one of the characters says, "We won, they lost, end of story." You know, so that's an interesting way that you know, from looking at it from an American's perspective. And also looking back on it, in 1992 they had in this film the highest tech gadgets they had. Yeah,
which is when you look at it now, you kind of, you know, obviously they're dated.
Exactly, you got the security tapes and you can see the fuzzy line at the bottom, you know, the VHS. Yeah, no, it's interesting, and the really thudding keyboards, you know. So it's interesting to look back on it as an almost historical little piece there as well. But no, quite enjoyable. I'm not sure if you mentioned River Phoenix as well.
Mary McDonnell.
Mary McDonnell.
It's thoroughly entertaining. Yeah, it's just thoroughly entertaining. And I mean, once again, I slap on about the stakes, but the stakes are really high in that film.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt they were, but there's great comedy. Like, you've got these stellar actors, you know, interacting with each other, and having these great comic moments. Like Dan Aykroyd as Mother, is hilarious. Right. He's the one who has all these conspiracy theories and like eternally kind of pisses off Sidney Poitier. It's great. It's very clever.
I must admit, it's good to see Sidney and Robert Redford together again.
Completely. Yeah. And River Phoenix is that kind of gawky teenager. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the score by James Horner, I thought that was excellent.
Loved it.
Which also had a starring turn from Branford Marsalis, the great jazz trumpeter.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, fantastic score there as well. One problem I did have with the film was the really cute ending.
In terms of...
Well...
Oh, we can't talk about that ending.
We can't talk about it too much, but it seems to basically build up all this tension throughout the film, and then it just sort of went a bit twee.
Yeah, it was very neat.
Very throwaway and almost a little bit too, coy. And I just thought, well, I was also serious up until this point.
Yeah, I suppose I concur on that. That was one little bit for me too, that I kind of went, oh well, but...
You're willing to forgive it.
It's such a good journey. It just... it's so much fun. It's a fun film, and I kind of felt like you knew where it was going to go, but then you didn't, and sometimes you were kind of shocked at where it went. And for its time, that film, I remember when I first saw that film, I just did. And funnily enough, I've just done 2 back-to-back films on separate weeks, which have River Phoenix in them, which is not intentional. I don't know why.
And his oeuvre isn't huge.
I know. It's my River Phoenix,
retrospective.
Homage to Vival.
All right then, shall we score it up?
Yeah, look, I'm going to give it 8.
I didn't like it that much, so I'm going to give it. I was going to give it 5, but I think I'm going to give it an extra point for Ben Kingsley's little ponytail. So 6 out of 10 for me.
6. I'm shocked.
Fort Meade, Maryland. Good afternoon.
Try Director Ops. National Security Agency, Director of Operations, please.
What extension, please?
I'm sorry, I forget the number. Could I please have Director of Operations? It's very important.
What extension, please?
Try research. Give me research. It's an emergency.
I need an extension or a name.
C-Tech Astronomy.
One moment, please.
They started the trace.
Who is this, please?
It's my dime. I'll ask the questions. Who are you?
Well, let's say my name is Mr. Abbott.
True.
They made the second leg.
Mr. Abbott, are you interested in C-Tech Astronomy?
I'm interested in all kinds of astronomy.
Cute.
They've got the satellite in Tokyo. These guys are good.
I need to know if you're someone who can make a deal.
Go on.
Can you deal?
Yes.
True.
They're across Transcom. You've got about 20 seconds, Bish.
If I come in with what I know, can you guarantee my safety?
Do you have the item?
No.
15 seconds.
Can you guarantee my safety?
Where is the item?
Can you guarantee my safety?
5 seconds.
Yes, I can guarantee your safety.
Bish, he's lying!
Hang up. They've almost got us.
He's lying!
Hang up, Bish.
He's lying! He's lying!
Hang up.
Well, that's it for another show. I just wanted to say a valet to Lynn Redgrave, who passed away this last week from breast cancer.
That was very sad.
Very, very sad.
Yeah.
Great roles in Shine. She was fantastic as Hannah in Gods and Monsters. So valet Lynn, and commiserations to the rest of the Redgrave family. Ellie?
Well, following that again, I always seem to follow you with... look, I'm going to do a shout out for Screen Hub, which is an organisation here in Australia. It's www.screenhub.com.au. Membership's very cheap, and they give you, well, a plethora of information about the industry here in Australia. So if you're serious about that and you're interested, jump online, have a look.
Yeah.
And I would highly recommend membership.
Jobs, events,
Everything.
personnel.
Great.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you again next time on Nailing Flicks. Bye-bye.
Bye.